TJ Perenara's final All Blacks Haka caused quite a stir in the public last November, and now a report has emerged stating that it blindsided his teammates and coaching staff. Perenara led the Haka for the 64th and final time as he donned the black jersey, before heading to Japan to play for the Black Rams. However, it wasn't just any Haka. It carried a strong political statement, one that has since divided opinions within the team and among the public. Perenara used the opportunity to address New Zealand's controversial principles of the Treaty of Waitangi Bill. His words before the Haka: Toititi mana oti whenua, toititi mana mochihake, toititi te raitai o Waitangi. Translated to forever the strength of the land, forever the strength of independence, forever the Treaty of Waitangi. This was perceived as a direct challenge to the bill, which many critics argue undermines Maori rights and disrupts the established interpretations of the treaty. At the time, it was believed that Captain Scott Barrett and the backroom staff were supportive of Perenara's initiative. However, a fresh report disputes this claim. According to the New Zealand Herald, senior players, coaches, management, and New Zealand rugby staff felt blindsided by the specifics of what Perenara said before leading the Haka. Some players were unaware that anything would be said at all, let alone something so politically charged. Captain Barrett addressed Perenara's words after the All Blacks 29-11 victory, explaining that, as the leader, they get the opportunity to say something. He said he was going to lead and say a wee me. It was a message of unity, and that's what he said. Head coach Scott Robertson reinforced this by noting that when a player earns a right to call the Haka, they get a moment at the beginning to introduce it in their own words. Robertson emphasized that Perenara's intention was unity, and that the entire team followed him into the Haka without hesitation. Despite these explanations, reports indicate that the All Black squad was divided over the matter. Some senior players and coaching staff allegedly felt that referencing the treaty in this setting was overtly political, divisive, and unapproved by the whole team. While Perenara had engaged in informal discussions about delivering a message, there was no official approval from management. Before kickoff, it is reported that Perenara was adamant about not leading the Haka unless he could deliver a message of unity, which ultimately played out on the field. This isn't the first time Haka performances have intersected with social or political statements. The Haka has long been a symbol of Maori culture and pride, used by the All Blacks to embody strength and unity before matches. However, Perenara's addition of political messaging to the tradition has raised new questions about the role of sports in political discourse. Some fans and analysts argue that rugby should remain separate from politics, while others believe that players have a platform and a duty to speak out on important national issues. Former All Black Justin Marshall weighed in on the debate, expressing concerns that Perenara took advantage of the All Blacks' privilege by delivering a political statement without universal approval. According to Marshall, the Haka is meant to unify the team, and deviating from tradition to make a political point risks alienating some members. Others argue that rugby, like all major sports, is inherently political, as it reflects the values and struggles of the society it represents. Public reactions have been just as polarized. While some fans praise Perenara for standing up for Maori rights and using his platform to bring attention to the treaty debate, others felt it was inappropriate to politicize a national sports team's tradition. Social media discussions exploded, with heated debates about whether Perenara's actions were justified or whether he overstepped his bounds. One of the primary concerns expressed by critics is that Perenara's decision may set a precedent for players to introduce personal political messages into the Haka. They argue that while Maori culture and heritage are at the core of the Haka, the All Blacks version is a team tradition that should not be altered without broad consensus. The New Zealand Rugby Union has historically avoided allowing political statements in the team environment, seeking to maintain neutrality in an increasingly polarized world. However, supporters of Perenara believe that the Haka itself has always carried political weight. The Ka-Mate Haka, famously performed by the All Blacks, has its origins in resistance and survival, while the newer Kappa Opango incorporates elements that emphasize Maori sovereignty and strength. From this perspective, Perenara's message was not a deviation, but rather an extension of the Haka's historical significance. Many in the Maori community have voiced their support, arguing that it was a necessary and timely reminder of the ongoing struggles faced by Indigenous people in New Zealand. Beyond the All Blacks, the controversy surrounding Perenara's final haka has sparked broader discussions in New Zealand about the intersection of sports, culture, and political activism. Some point to examples in other sports, such as American football players kneeling during the national anthem or Olympic athletes raising fists in protest. In these cases, athletes use their platform to bring attention to social justice issues, often at great personal and professional risk. Perenara's case, while uniquely tied to New Zealand's cultural landscape, follows a similar pattern of athletes leveraging their influence to make a statement. While his departure to Japan marks the end of his time with the All Blacks, his legacy within New Zealand rugby will be debated for years to come. Some believe he will be remembered as a courageous advocate for Maori rights, while others feel his actions jeopardize team unity. It is possible that future Haka leaders may be more cautious about including personal or political messages, or New Zealand rugby may introduce formal guidelines to prevent similar controversies. In the wake of the incident, several players have privately expressed their concerns about how it was handled. Some believe that while Perenara acted with good intentions, greater communication was needed to ensure that all members of the squad were comfortable with his approach. Others feel that the All Blacks should embrace more player-led expressions, reflecting the diverse backgrounds and perspectives within the team. The balance between tradition and evolution remains a delicate one, particularly in a sport as deeply ingrained in national identity as rugby. Looking ahead, the All Blacks will need to navigate how they handle cultural expressions within the team, ensuring unity while respecting individual beliefs. This incident has sparked wider discussions on how much freedom players should have in expressing personal or political messages within team traditions. New Zealand Rugby has yet to release an official statement on whether new guidelines will be introduced regarding player-led messages during the haka. If anything, this controversy has underscored the power of the haka as more than just a pre-game ritual. It is a cultural statement that resonates far beyond the rugby field. And as Perenara moves forward in his career, his final haka will remain a defining moment in All Blacks history, serving as a reminder of the delicate balance between tradition, unity, and personal conviction. Regardless of one's stance on the issue, it is undeniable that Perenara's actions have left an indelible mark on New Zealand rugby. Whether this moment will inspire future players to use their platform for advocacy or serve as a cautionary tale remains to be seen. But as the debate continues, one truth remains. The haka, like rugby itself, is more than just a game. It is a reflection of New Zealand's identity, history, and ever-evolving cultural landscape.